As you can see, this segment has to do with blacks behind Trump, and more than anything else, I guess this is an interview Roland did with Chris Christie, so I'm just going to let this run, make any commentary that needs to be made at the end.
Back to Cleveland, where we are live this morning reporting on the Republican National Convention. Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey was hoping to, of course, be the vice presidential pick of Donald Trump. That did not happen. Trump chose to go with Governor Mike Pence, but Christie was still popular on the floor of the convention hall. Our cameras caught up with him while I asked him, why should African Americans support Donald Trump for president? Well, I target African Americans in my audience. Why should they vote for Donald Trump?
Because they want an America that's full of opportunity for their children and grandchildren, and an America that is safe once again, for them to walk the streets of their neighborhoods, for them to send their kids off to school, and for them to go back and forth to work every day. I don't think the message to African American families should be any different than it is to any family in America. Because I will tell you, I don't know an African American parent who has a different dream for their child than I have for mine. They want something better for them than they have for themselves. They want their children to be safe and secure and prosperous. And I think Donald Trump will help to lead our country in that direction.
Okay, honestly, he didn't say anything that was untrue. So if that was the basic message, you know, I don't have really much of a problem with that, because honestly, I feel the same way. Everybody wants, you know, basically four things. They want their children to prosper. Doesn't matter what color you are. They want to have a decent home that they can come to, which is their own individual castles. Your home is your castle. Okay. They want health. Okay. And they want basically to be comfortable. Everybody wants those things. Everybody wants those things. Now, some people want to take some of those things to an extreme, okay? But basically, you know, if everybody had those things, there would be no strife in the world, period, okay? Let me back up. There's always going to be strife because, you know, you have people that are jealous of other people, etc. But for the most part, there'd be, you know, very little strife in the world, let me say.
We also spoke to a number of African American delegates here at the convention, getting their take on why Donald Trump should be the choice. There are about 80 African American delegates total here at the Republican National Convention. Obviously a far cry from the Democratic National Convention, but many of them are still elated to see Trump at the top of the presidential ticket. So why do you believe Donald Trump should be the next president of the United States?
I believe that Donald Trump should be the next president of the United States because at the end of the day, he's a true outsider. I can't deal with a woman who comes into our churches and only at one time a year and they'll say, I don't feel no ways tired, and she don't give a damn about us any other time.
The question, has Donald Trump come to any of our churches?
Well, Donald Trump, yes, has come to some of our churches. I'm a son of a minister, and he's come to a lot of my friends' churches, their fathers' churches, and I gotta say this, he gets a bad rap from the liberal media concerning that he hates people of color. He's a xenophobe, he's a homophobe. But let me be very clear. He's been a friend of mine for over 7 years.
Well, did you teach him 2 Corinthians?
Yes, I did teach him. Now, look, I know your wife, and I know. Yes, he did.
I'm just saying, when I know you heard that, you say, he could have said 2 Corinthians.
Well, no, let me just say it this way, and I laugh at that. You know, as long as he knew where it was, it doesn't matter how he said it. Now, you know that's to be true.
Well, how about this? There's one of the things that I have been asking many people, and that is, he talks about black unemployment, he talks about things along those lines, but I don't see a plan. And I'm still waiting.
To answer your question honestly, the plan is look at how many blacks and minorities he has hired in his own organization.
But here's the deal though. Okay, so on that point, he's built lots of things. Construction, obviously. I'm curious to know what black construction companies, who's he worked with. See, we haven't heard that. And so my point is this here. You want to be president, Where's your plan that we can go, okay, now I see what you're talking about versus a slogan.
Right, but counterpoint to what you just said, all you have to look at is the structure, the makeup of the Trump organization. It talks about the diverse organizations that he worked with. I'll tell you something that, and I love you because I'm a Kathy Hughes enthusiast, but I'll say this way. Go to NDC Trump, National Diversity Coalition for Trump, and you will find out that unlike, you okay?
I'm fighting allergies, go ahead.
Unlike the Democrats.
You say go to what's the website again?
NDCTrump.com. It's National Diversity Coalition for Trump. I happen to sit on there. I'm the only candidate that's running for a congressional race, and I'll just say this, neither party is perfect, but I will say this, I appreciate that he looks at diversity and culture versus the Democratic Party that always pushes the race card.
First and foremost, being here, why do you believe Donald Trump should be the choice for African Americans?
Well, this is what I propose to the African American community, my community, is that we must move beyond the simple name calling and ask ourselves, based on policy, have Democrats delivered? When you look at the policies that have been proposed by Democrats, that have been implemented by Democrats, many of them have decimated our communities. So we have to ask ourselves now, is there another option? Or should we make another option, but it can no longer be just Democrat, because that hasn't worked. As much as I respect President Obama in office for 8 years, the black community has not gotten better. So we know it's beyond just one person. It has to be us as a community. So we have to open our minds to the opportunities of perhaps another party.
Now, one of the things that I've been asking them, and that is to many black Trump supporters, where are his specifics? I've heard slogans, I've heard statements, and when it comes to HBCUs, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to economic development, I haven't seen a specific plan, and I go to the website, I've been talking to many people, and African Americans say that's the problem.
Okay, I'm a graduate of Tuskegee University. Stay tuned for HBCU specific. I had a 30-minute meeting with Mr. Trump in Las Vegas last month, so stay tuned for that one.
What else?
Well, I'm just talking about that's what's very important to me. Now, I don't answer for Mr. Trump on the specifics of his proposals, but I will say this: he has to deliver those specifics, but because they haven't, and for many people's perspectives, haven't been delivered to date, the question is larger than that, and that is, the specifics of the Democrats have not worked for us. So what we should be asking ourselves is, how come those specifics have not worked? They've been tried for decades, and we have gotten worse as a community. So we have to ask ourselves, is it time to look at something different?
But isn't a part of that also, though, and I had a gentleman I ran into, and he asked me, he said, why don't African Americans engage the Republican side? I said, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Republicans don't necessarily engage with black folks. I told him, I said, I've invited on numerous occasions black Republicans. I have black Republicans on the show, Republicans to come on the show, elected officials. Many of them don't even respond, and I say you can't expect the community to engage with you when you don't engage with them.
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree. But we also must move beyond the fact that Democrats tend to make us feel good, but then they don't do good. So we have to look at this as a business transaction, which means that, you know what, I may not necessarily like all these Republicans, but if they're willing to deliver something for our community, let's do business. And that's what I'm hoping we will do.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Next on News One now on TV.
All right, I thought that was pretty good. That first guy, in my mind, he was shaky. But the GOP delegate from Utah, I pretty much liked a lot of the stuff that he had to say. And he has a point, all right? You can't keep going with somebody that makes promises that doesn't deliver. Now, the hard part in opposition to that is if somebody won't even make you promises what are you supposed to do? So it's like we're caught between a rock and a hard place. Honestly, we really need to form another party that actually has enough political strength in order to follow through for the needs of the people. And maybe you call it the People's Party. And honestly, I believe somebody like a Bernie Sanders, if he could form that third party and get enough support, and I mean he would need the middle, and he could probably pull in slightly left and slightly right people into that party, he probably would end up with a significant number, if not a majority, versus the other two. But again, I thought that that conversation was, that last conversation was pretty reasonable. And again, he did make a valid point. Promises versus action, or no promises and no action. Which one really is worth? Both of them are no action. One of them is a feel good and then you're screwed, and the other one is, well, you know you're getting screwed, so you're walking in with your eyes open.